Racers HQ podcast. I'm your host, Matt Murphy, and joining me on the line tonight, as always, is our faithful co-host, Pat Mulry. Pat Mulry, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing quite well, Matt Murphy. How are you?
Splendid. Yeah. Uh, Wonderful. So,
I like to think of myself not so much as co-host, but first officer of the podcast.
I like that, first officer. I'm reading some sort of leadership book right now, and it's all about like a submarine captain kind of thing. And it's the best. Like, I really don't like, I love leadership stuff, but man, put it in the context of submarine captaining. So good.
We we just can't keep you away from books about seamen, can we?
Fair. Yeah. Nope. That's a problem. Um, well, moving on. Mulry, what's what's in your cup tonight?
I am
Speaking of
drinking. No, we are not. We're talking about sailors on a boat, sir. I am drinking iced tea.
a wise choice.
Yes,
Um,
I'm
yes.
trying for at least during Lent. I'm
Yeah, I like
trying
this.
to refrain from the alcoholic beverage uh, on weekdays.
I like that.
Uh,
It's good.
but yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Um, my ability to stick with that is usually not that great, and
What's
I
that?
I don't think that like whether or not you know how long I spend in purgatory or if I go to heaven or hell is going to be determined on whether or not I stuck to my guns during Lent, so to speak. Maybe I'm veering off of you know the catechism there, but I don't think so.
Hot takes. I'm not going to get into that, but man, uh,
Catholic Corner on Racers HQ podcast. Just before we get to ophthalmology today.
yeah. I'm whatever. I'm drinking some sort of fizzy drink, but since you brought up iced tea, one of my favorite drinks, random thing. I'm not usually into like energy drinks. The Monster Recovery, which is like, maybe you had one too many last night, whatever. And it's great, man. It's like a mix between um Gatorade and then all these like other like monster, guarine and taurine things.
Yeah.
And it's like iced tea flavored,
Hmm.
and it's a giant monster energy drink, which makes me feel like a clown, walking around with like one of those, Route 45 cans of juice.
A 40-ounce monster.
Yeah. So one of my favorite drinks.
I had a rough.
Uh
Does that say about you? Like if someone sees you, do that is what they see. I had a rough night last night, and I'm not planning on sleeping tonight either.
yeah, if you see me sipping on that like electrolit coconut flavor or a monster rehab,
Yeah.
that's an indicator for
I
sure.
That makes me think of several years ago. You won a karting
Mhm.
event and won a whole bunch of Monster Energy that you brought with you to a race that
Yeah.
somehow ended up back at my house in the cooler because nobody else would ingest that stuff.
Mhm.
And several of them had busted open during the drive home from wherever it was. And then, of course, that cooler, when it's just beverages, doesn't always get cleaned out immediately upon getting home. And there was a definite like
Organism.
alien funk that had grown in that cooler
Mm.
as a result of those busted things. Like there was a slimy scum on every can in there. They all just went in the trash.
Oh yeah. No, and those are the special Gronkowski edition Monster Energy drinks as well. The
His
Gronk.
own his own special funk in every bottle or every
Yeah.
can. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
frightening.
Them were the days.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So moving on from what we got sipping on, uh, do we have any culinary corner things to talk about, Mulry, since our last update? What's hot on your mind?
We had a really good Valentine's Day dinner that we cooked here at home, which was the steaks were good because they were, filet mignons from our butcher. But Rachel
Mm.
made this really great sauce, and we have a debate between us whether it's called steak Diane or steak Dion.
Mm.
And I think it's probably the fancier version, and Rachel's thinks it's steak Diane. But either way, it's a really delicious sauce. You can find it, everywhere online. A lot of shallots and I think white wine and butter and maybe beef stock or chicken stock.
Okay.
I don't know. It's really really good. And so then you just serve that over the top of the steak with
I
some
can attest, the mole reason
potatoes
bring
and
it with the steak sauce.
yeah, yeah.
That sauce that you guys came up with, when we were there for the AHOD was wonderful, so love
Oh,
that.
that probably was the pomegranate cream sauce.
Yeah, that was amazing, so
Yeah, there's a chef here in town where we had that first, and he has a recipe for it that he gives out. It is clearly not the same recipe,
mm,
um, because his is much better. But yeah, I mean, a sauce that's based of cream and mushrooms. Uh, I mean, you, you almost can't go wrong with that. And then just I think that one has
yeah, 'cause
pomegranate molasses.
that pomegranate molasses was like, yeah, that was amazing.
Hmm.
Well, that sounds
Yeah,
nice, though. Yeah, I'll have to have some steak Diane, I'll have to check it out.
you should
Yeah,
do that. I bet Kenji's got a recipe for it. Probably.
I bet. Yeah, maybe, Jacques Pepin?
Oh,
Uh,
certainly.
yeah. I also had a great, Valentine's Day dinner. We went to the Signature Grill. It was our 14th dating anniversary, my wife and I, not my cats. And,
Your first date was on Valentine's Day?
yeah, I like to combo those things, so just
Ooh,
one good
buddy.
2 things. But,
That is a high wire act for a first date, though.
I remember, we won't get too, sentimental, but my Miata fuel rail was leaking. It was still when it was a daily driver, and I show up to dinner in Edmond, which is the nice part of Oklahoma City, and, I'm like, "Do I smell like fuel?" Like, it's that kinda, "Am I about to walk into this date?" Anyway, so that was a thing, and I was far too noob to even have fixed my, fuel rail, so I just let it leak all over the engine bay. But, yeah, that place owned by my buddy Clay and his wife Jess, and,
Yeah.
so I just real quick, that dinner, on the we went to on the 13th, Friday the 13th, and I got the grilled halibut with the wild mushroom risotto, and the grilled halibut
Ooh.
had, like, crab meat on top with, like, panko, and, like, it was just very elegant and so good. And then before that, I got their foie gras, and this is the first time I've ever had their foie gras, and it was a nice like, it was so perfect. It was like a single toast point, like French bread toast point with a little bit of, like, maybe this nice Frenchy salsa kinda thing, and then this perfectly, like, sized piece of grilled foie gras on top. And, chef's kiss. I mean, that was lovely, and Alyssa won't eat that because she's a wimp, and I got to eat it all, so bam. So, it was a
Yes.
good one. Followed by brandy ice with a floater. Brandy ice, invented in Oklahoma. Do you know what a brandy ice is, Maury?
I don't. Enlighten me.
A brandy ice is a, dessert cocktail often shared between lovers. It's, vanilla ice cream, brandy, some nutmeg, maybe grated on top. Stick it in a blender. Probably some, like, other various liqueurs,
So it's like a brandy milkshake.
Grand Marnier, maybe. Yeah, it's very good.
Sounds
So
good. When
that was
when
my
I was in when I was in college, we had a event with a sorority one night, and my roommate and I decided we would make whiskey floats. So it was ice
oh yeah.
cream and ice cream. What was it? Vanilla
I
ice
put a little
cream.
Coke in there, like vanilla, like whiskey and Coke float, maybe.
It might have been root beer. I think we were doing root beer floats with
Okay.
Canadian Club. Was
Oh boy.
the whiskey of choice there? Yeah, there was that was a fun night. What I remember of it.
Right.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Given all the sugar in that drink, I'm sure the next day was an absolute beatdown. But
I bet.
we were 21, so
Yeah.
how bad could it have really been? We are
The
probably, I
last
mean, by beatdown, it probably is, by 10 o'clock we were playing basketball again or something.
yeah, you got this.
That's right.
All right. BD beep beep beep. That's culinary corner. Moving on. Mulry, you're getting a race car ready. Not. We tried to go to Barber Motorsports Park for racing of the E36.
Yes, we
Things
did.
didn't pan out. We
They
ended up
did
having
not.
an AHOD instead. That's all hands on deck for you noobs. And yeah, got the car operating. So you give us a little quick recap maybe of like, trying to get to Barber, things not going AHOD instead.
Yeah, yeah. So, got the engine in the car and running, and it was a little bit loud. It turns
Hmm.
out that the pistons, some of they're all used pistons because
Hmm.
you can't get new stock, even stock size pistons for that engine in America anymore. Maybe not anywhere in the
Oh,
world.
well,
And yeah, they're
seems
precious
sustainable.
as they're precious as hen's teeth. Like the our engine rebuilder was trying to find one, and he found like one at the dealer in Jersey City, and it was like $650. I was like, no, 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 no. Like, let me find. I bet I can find a set of used ones since we only need like one or two pistons on
Yeah.
eBay, and we'll just go with that, right? And they were close enough. So it does make a little clatter as it warms up, but it started fine and ran, like I said, loud, and then not as loud, but couldn't get it to go into gear on the ground. Like if it was in the air and running, it would go in gear and the rear wheels would spin. And you could clutch and shift and anything with you know, no friction on the back tires. But once you had it on the ground, could not get it to go into gear. And so that's I was like, well, we could drag this thing to Barber and try and fix it in the paddock, but I'm not really a fan of a 10-hour tow, and who knows if this is really going to work. Um, so we pulled the pin on that and decided to just hot it since we all had the weekend scheduled off anyway, and
Yeah.
so we had a whole bunch of our buddies came down here, which is in some ways I don't want to say it's better than going the race because it's not, but it was a nice backup option because we all still got to hang out for a little bit. So
Yeah.
my the host of this podcast, Matt Murphy,
What?
and dedicated compatriot Eric Strawn came down on Friday morning. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's
Hmm.
right.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
and then Roland came down on Saturday morning,
Hmm.
and Todd Wyatt rolled in from across the street,
Hmm.
and Dave Mulvey uh, rolled up from San Angelo. And I hope we're not giving away too much intelligence here, but this has all got to be public knowledge at this point anyway.
Hmm.
And
It's on our Wikipedia.
that's right, Wikipedia, and our only fan, and
Our only fan, Eric Strong.
that's right, and we got cracking on it, and on the one hand, I think I told you this, like I felt a little justified when everybody else tried to test it out and couldn't get it to work either,
Hmm.
and then we bled the clutch again, and because I had like bled that clutch like 3 or 4 times trying to get it
Hmm.
working, and it's like I don't think it's the clutch slave, and then everybody's like, well, let's see if it's the clutch slave. Okay, go ahead, bleed that again, and
Yeah,
then
right.
that didn't fix it. So like I felt a little better that I wasn't a complete clown. If you guys had come down here, bled the clutch slave, and it worked, I would have been like in
Hmm.
full like rainbow afro with the big red nose,
Hmm.
and so then, and then there was a thought that there might be something wrong inside the transmission. So we pulled the transmission under the car, and
Real quick, we
yeah,
did find there wasn't a whole lot of transmission fluid in the transmission when we pulled it. Just
that's
saying.
true. That's true.
So
It
that
was
was a good
it was
find.
it was underfilled. That's true. Um, and
But
Yeah, boy, that was a trauma. And so then we pulled the transmission. Uh, Pro tip: if you're going to try and pull the transmission off of a E36 with the transmission attached to the engine inside the car, you
Mhm.
need the or you're really going to want, like, what is it, a 24-inch extension, uh, that Eric
Yeah,
ended
we
up getting. You guys
yeah,
ran
we
to
ended
Harbor Freight for that, right?
yeah, we ended up going to Harbor Freight and getting these, like, massive extensions. Were they even wobbles on the end too, maybe? Or maybe we put a different wobble extension on them, but,
Yeah,
either way, yeah, get the super long extension things to reach up there, um,
yeah.
to get those last couple of bolts, and on top of that, might as well just pull the intake manifold as well, like, you know.
Yeah, you're going to have to pull the intake manifold because you're going to have to get the starter bolts out, and the starter goes through the block um, and the transmission from the engine side. So that's going to happen. Unfortunately, we've gotten pretty quick with the intake manifold. So,
You're very good at that.
uh, well, thank you. It's uh,
Oh,
it's all just from too much practice. You know, when you've changed three engines in the same chassis in like a 12-month period,
mm,
some of that starts to become muscle memory. Unfortunately, a muscle memory I'd much rather turn back in.
mm.
And but it wasn't anything in the transmission, and so we buttoned that back up and put all the exhaust back on and the drive shaft and everything, and all that went back on again. And so then we were like, well, maybe it's the master cylinder, clutch master cylinder, right? Because that's, I mean, we're sort of like at the process of elimination at that point.
Mhm.
So maybe you should take up the story at that point because you were much more involved in the clutch master cylinder process
Well,
than I
yeah,
was.
I think, I think it was a good practice there during our, you know, penultimate attempt at making this work that we all got in the car and said, "Does this feel like a clutch?" Right? And because
Yep.
Roland first pointed it out, Roland was just trying to drive the car as a test drive and it wouldn't work. And he's like, "This doesn't feel like
Yep.
a clutch." And I got in there and I was like, "Yeah, it's not any resistance really. It's clearly not engaging anything. It's just not building pressure." And so, we got everybody else in there and everybody kind of agreed. So I thought that was a good idea just to get some,
Yeah.
because I know when I'm working on something, I get in my head, right? And I mean, sure, you're in a similar situation, right? Like, does this feel different? Does it not, right? So
Yeah.
it's really good to just get that hive mind together. But yeah, so it didn't feel like clutch. We luckily we sourced a local clutch, and or sorry, clutch master, and I got upside down and replaced it, and then it's various amounts of mounting solutions under the dashboard right now, right? Things that should be
Yeah.
pins are bolts, and it doesn't end up with the right results. And one thing led to another, and I kind of rage destroyed the first master cylinder because it got stuck because I was using a nut and bolt instead of a pin, and so I over tightened it, and yada yada yada. One thing led to another. So then we got to source another master cylinder, and
Yeah,
you
and
know,
we got really lucky there. Like we found
yeah,
two of them
we.
within, like, a mile and a half of the house,
Mhm.
which is unbelievable for BMW parts of this vintage.
Yeah,
I mean, we
cornering the
carry so
market.
many yeah, we carry so many spares to a race because we know wherever we go, we're not going to find them. The only place you can
Yeah.
find them is online usually. So that was
And
very
you even
fortunate.
had, like, you had a spare, but it was the wrong spare because this was like a, 93 and a half, clutch master or something, right? Like, they just changed it
Yeah.
mid-year or something. So,
Yeah, like
um,
the early E36s use a longer, well, I think this is a plastic body now, but originally it was a metal body with a longer nose on it, and then the later ones use a shorter plastic one. And I think somebody had given me that one that I had, um, and you know, to be honest, I'd never even considered, like, oh, we've got this is a different year chassis than the chassis we used to have. Maybe it's a different one. Who knows? And then
all
who knows also.
all things that you would not want to have done at the track, like, we're looking at we were
Yeah.
we were recording the Barber temperature the whole time, and it's like if we were at
Yeah,
Barber right now, it would be 25 degrees, right?
right. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, that's one fortunate thing. We all really wanted to go to the Barber race. We love that track. It's a fun track. It's a fun race. It's the first race of the year for the Lemons calendar, so there's always a little bit of sort of extra um, joy of the first race
sure,
of the new season. But yeah, I don't think any of us. It's the coldest, literally the coldest race that Lemons has ever recorded, or at least has recorded since the ECR races in that were Sleet Mageddon. Um,
sure.
but
Yeah,
everyone thinks it's
we
the
were doing
actual
that
coldest.
before recorded history.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. BC.
hmm Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So
no, that
you
ended up
you you
sorting it
ra-
out.
you you rage smashed one. Hulk smashed the first one.
Yeah, and there was this whole, like, thing we had to make a p oh, yeah, we had to re-engineer
Oh
the
yeah.
pin because I also Hulk smashed the plastic, spring retainer, in my Hulk Smashington, and, so, yeah, we re-engineered that. There were some trips to Lowe's, but, the guys put it together. Eric and Roland really re-engineered that whole piece, and bada bing, bada boom. I think we got a clutch now, right? I mean, we put everything together
Yeah.
and, uh, bled it one more time, just did a gravity bleed on it, didn't need much. So yeah, super excited about that. I remember we didn't really get to test it until what, like Sunday morning when we were all about to leave, and I just remember, yeah, getting the car moving and just being real happy about it.
Yeah. So yeah, it moved, rolled forward and back in gear in the driveway, and then I guess it was the next weekend. I because there's some kind of
Mm.
lousy weather rolling in. The next weekend after that, I went out and drove it up and down the street, and um, it accelerates and brakes and did everything the way that it should. But the last time I went out to test a car before a race, the engine blew up in like 2 blocks, right?
Yeah,
And gosh, I'm completely feeling it again now, just sitting here. Like getting in the car to go test it on the street is the most nervous I've been about anything in my adult life in about as long as I can remember. I mean, it was like I didn't realize kind of how scarred I'd been or traumatized by the last one.
yeah,
And but I'm like procrastinating doing it like, oh, I think I really need to make sure these tires have,
mm,
34 pounds and not 35, or 35 and not 34. And let's make sure there's enough oil in the car. And like, okay, now I'm going to let it sit in the driveway and warm up for 10 minutes just to make sure that, the oil's nice and warm and I don't do anything, bad, the cold, a new engine with cold oil, all of that. I mean, yeah, I delayed that about as long as I could. But God, yeah, I can feel all of the anxiety in my chest and shoulders just sitting here recounting it. But then I went out on the street and it drove great.
yeah,
Accelerated wonderfully and brakes normally and gets all the looks as you're going up and down a residential street in suburban Dallas because it's loud and people point at it and dogs bark at it and you know
nice.
ladies chase it in bare feet because
Yeah,
that's what they do with race car. I mean, that's what we've all been told, right?
mhm. Oh yeah,
the, the stickers and all the Subarus.
yeah. No fat chicks. I'm sure that really does it for him.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a PD.
Uh,
So, and I don't mean police department.
well, cool. Yeah, no, that's exciting. I mean, and I feel that anxiety. It's funny you said that it's like the most anxious you've felt. I do, I guess, thinking back on, lots of things have been building to this, right? Lots of investment, lots of,
Yeah.
having professionals now, look into your problems. I mean, this is a big effort, I mean, for a grassroots motorsports team to try to get a freaking ancient motor made out of unobtainium back to the
Yeah.
track after
Yeah.
destroying several.
Yeah. So got it back in. That was, break-in oil that was in it. So drained that out. Didn't find anything, momentous in it at all.
Yeah.
Drag the magnet through it. Didn't find any clunky bits. The drain plug had even less sludgy bits on it than it did before. So that's good. That's what you want the first couple of
Yeah.
drains to do is on a new motor is get all the crap out of it. So um, filled it up with normal oil, and I need to warm it up again just to get the oil circulated through the uh, oil cooler. Um, and then I think we'll try and take it up to ECR mid March and do a shakedown to make sure everything's really okay before, that should give us 6 weeks before Hallett in case we find something that needs real attention. But
Yeah.
I
Nice,
think it's
dude.
I think it's pretty close. It's
Nice.
it's sad though. Yeah, it is nice, but it's sad that like the Hallett race this year will be the third race in 3 years for that car, and that's it. We used to do 3 races in half a
Mhm.
year,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Next car, Toyota.
Man, there's something to that, Murphy. I mean, that MR2, we had issues with it occasionally, but we finished a lot of races in that MR2.
Mhm.
Um, we thought the BMW was going to really be the answer. Uh, it's been the answer to a lot of other questions, but not to how to dominate.
Right. Domination? Question mark. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um, well, it sure is fun, but yeah, let's race more races and we'll get there. We have
Yeah.
ideas. We have plans, don't we? We have crazy plans. Some of them
We do.
include the
We do have
E36.
plans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the plan is definitely keep the E36. It's just what
Yeah.
motor is going to go in it next, and all of that business. And so some of that is underway.
Yeah. Well,
So
good.
we'll see. What I would really like is to have plans underway and sort of on the shelf, and then not need them for like 3 years because this engine just keeps on
Um,
going.
let's do it. There's only one way to find out.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So we'll be back at hopefully, we'll get it up to ECR, test it here in a few weeks, and then probably about a month from now, and then
Okay.
up to Hallett for the first weekend in May with all of our friends and buddies, and
We got RV
hopefully we
spots reserved.
excellent,
Go.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other big news, kind of
Mm.
related to all that, is that we picked up an enclosed trailer, so
Yeah.
that's
Oh, it's
that's been an
so cool.
excitement. Yeah, so used obviously, but Dave and Todd did a lot of work over the AHOD weekend, building out some communications facilities inside that for
Mhm.
the radios and PCs, and a couple of monitors in there. That's um, I bet all of us probably are at the stage where we kind of hoard old like LCD monitors when they get recycled out. Maybe it's just me, but I have like 4 or 5 of them under different beds in the house because it's like, look, this is a perfectly good monitor. Why can't we keep it? And now I found a use for it. We put them in the trailer.
It's looking real slick. You got a server
Yeah.
rack. Yeah.
Yep.
It's fancy. Now, this is a
Yeah.
nice monitor. That was Ross's old monitor, or I mean, nice trailer. That's Ross's old trailer.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Ideally, I think it's a 24 foot. Ideally, it'd be a 28, but
Mhm.
we'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll get an extra long bed pickup truck or something. If they made those, that'd be nice. Can you imagine a pickup truck with like a 12-foot bed?
yeah. I could see that. I don't know. Okay. Well, good recap. I like that. The Z28 is coming
Yes,
along
let's
as
get to
well.
the Matt Murphy garage
Sorry, it's
recap.
just like smash crash transition there, but I gotta talk about my crap. So, um, took it to the dyno. I've been working on the checklist, right? Like this car is kind of boring. There's not a lot to do, but I just, I'll just kind of, it's like I don't have to engineer anything really. So
Right.
just work on my checklist, check it twice, get a few things done. So took it to the dyno, took it to XP Racing. That motor is silly. The LT1 5.7 liter. It So I've got both maximum torque and maximum horsepower numbers, which is kind of a weird thing to deal with, right? So which is going to come first? What do you tune for? Yada yada. You can't really tune for it in too many different ways because the spec. I mean, there's like you can't really do anything to the motor. I could put a restrictor on it on
Yep.
the intake or restrict the exhaust. Not a lot I can deal with. So it was wild. This thing just immediately maxes torque, like at 1,000 RPMs. It's max torque, which isn't exactly the most usable torque range. I mean, you're not going to be racing at 1,000 RPMs, um, but yeah. So max is torque, and then 250 horse, which I guess max horsepower is 267. So kind of weak on the top end, but it's my understanding after talking to a few buddies that it still pulls just as hard as like the LS version. So pretty comparable, like actual racing acceleration. Just kind of short
Yeah.
shift, bring it back down to that, torque band and
Mm-hmm.
get after it. So excited about that. It was extremely consistent. Like we did 3 runs on the dyno. I didn't really mess with the restrictor plate or anything like that because I didn't want to. I mean, I figured if I opened up the restrictor plate anymore, I'd still be at max torque or more. So not really sure how to deal with that problem and move the torque band around. Some say smaller exhaust. Well, we might play with it at some point, rent out some dyno time, try a number of different solutions. But for now, the thing,
Wouldn't open up the intake give you a little more horsepower?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, my concern is it would also increase the torque past the max. So right now it's
I
at max
gotcha.
torque. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Okay.
kind of need to move the whole band to the right. So something to play with. Just rent some dyno time. Talk to my guy. Other drama. I found out that one of the other racers has the same number as me. So another Camaro, another fourth gen Camaro has the same number as me. And with respect to the community, since I'm the noob, I said I would change. So I inventoried all championship points for the last 3 years and found like which numbers were being used and which weren't, and then tried to figure out how can I use my number 27 efficiently. Because at first I'm thinking, oh cool, I'll go back to like some cool like 3-digit number with a big number panel and get some cool looking hot boy numbers on the car. No, that's not efficient. So I just cut the sevens off, and now I'm number 2 because it's both hilarious and efficient.
That's right.
So it is written, the number 2 Camaro, and it's kind of got a Dale Earnhardt vibe to it. He was number 3. It's a very much like silver and black.
Yeah.
He didn't have the red. Mine's more red than silver and black, but it's got a Dale Earnhardt vibe to it.
If you squint,
Yeah,
it's mint.
if you squint, it's bow tie. I mean, give me a break.
That's right. Yeah.
Um, Wrapping up my cool shirt build, so whatever. Added some insulation to the lines. Very long lines from the
Yeah.
back of that long F body car.
Yeah.
Um, the I like the engineering done on this car from like a center console standpoint. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to have stock dash, and there's a switch panel there, but the guy that engineered all this stuff, he's got your main power, he's got your fire system pool right there, just to the right of the driver, like off of the tunnel,
Yep. Yep.
and he's got the brake bias adjuster there as well. So nice centralized panel area. So I found one more little spot on there, and I put my bilge pump timer right next to
Oh yeah.
the main power switch. So I can just hit that, boom, right there for the cool shirt.
Yep.
So just need to finish wiring that up, and I will be cool shirt done. And swapped in Roland's. Roland's loaning me his SmartyCam Pro, like first gen SmartyCam Pro. Excited about that. I eventually want to go full AIM data system on this thing, and so this will just be my first chance to kind of use the Race Studio software and
Yeah.
use that suite of products and
Mm-hmm.
spend thousands of dollars on, you know, Hopefully something that's reliable. Just kind
Right.
of stick it. I mean,
At
I
least give
really,
us
I'm not
some
trying to hate.
usable
Like,
data.
yeah, and I really like the Race Capture Pro stuff that we've been using, but I can't use telemetry in this class. That's banned. So not a lot of value in that spot. And as I think the Race Capture Pro hardware is pretty solid, but some of the
Yep.
DIY pieces that I was using as well, like the Raspberry Pi Dash, it was pretty
Yeah.
pretty cool to build that thing in the old car, but I found it to be unreliable.
Yeah.
And that's, especially if you're going to try to have like a fully integrated dash and that's your only source of truth. I feel like getting a nice pro piece of kit, like I don't know, what is it, the Strata, AM
Yeah.
Strata or something like that. So that's the idea long term. But yeah,
MX, MXS, MX,
yeah,
MSG, those things. Yeah.
yeah, MXG, yeah, something like that. So things are coming along. The checklist is getting real small. I've done some fluid changes, fluid checking, this, and that. Pretty much just got to put some tires on it, and I think we are getting to the track. So
Yeah.
uh,
Don't you have a tire day out at Hallett with some other guys?
yeah,
Is
tire
that
day at
gonna come
Hallett. I think
together?
Roland's. I think Roland will be there, so that'll be cool. He's probably going to go run his Z. Big plans for the Z this year. Lots more horsepower is coming for Roland's
Yeah.
program. Speaking of Buddy's
So
program, yep,
when is your tire day? If
call it late.
fans of the pod wanted to come up there and
Yeah, call it late
cheer you on.
March. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's the 22nd or 29th, something like that. It's whatever the comma day is for Hallett,
Okay.
and then April 10th for ECR NASA for my CMC debut.
Uh, that's a big. We need to circle that on the calendar.
Yeah, I'm excited.
April
A little
10th.
nervous. Yeah,
Sure.
but I mean, circle this. Todd Spickard's gonna go crush Crescent here this next week or so, or
This
you know he's
weekend,
getting
right? Yeah.
he's getting ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
He got a fourth place down in Houston for the season
Yep.
opener. I don't think it was the biggest crowd in the world. It was very cold, but good for Todd. He just keeps bringing it, and you know what, I accept defeat already. Todd's gonna kick my ass my first couple of weekends, and then I'll get the hang of it. But good
I
job,
like
Todd.
this
You've
sandbagging.
already beat me.
I like this. I like this low bar setting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go race. I'm gonna go drive my car. You know what I mean, Pat?
Yeah. Drive your car, drive your race,
That's
eat
right.
your own barbecue.
I will say this real quick. Final point. I just had to get some rapid points done here. I've been iRacing consistently every week, like a good boy, using my rig, and I have been terrible. Been doing the GR86 Cup, coming in like 14th place on average. It's been very
Yeah.
brutal. I don't know any of these tracks. I finally got to race at a track I knew, Okayama Short, and that is clearly the differentiator here. Like I knew I was so confident, it was like everything else was
Yeah.
second nature and I could really focus on trail braking and some of those more, detailed aspects of driving
Yeah.
instead of just like understanding where the track goes. And that was huge. I came in fourth. I had the fastest time of the day in the race.
Nice.
Massive difference. So I think I need to do a little bit more studying on the tracks, just stay consistent, stay running in this series, get used to the tracks we're doing. But it gave me some hope. I needed some hope because it has been brutal.
Well, I'm glad that it worked out for you and you got to show those 12-year-olds who's boss.
That's right. Watch out, Max Verstappen's son or daughter. I don't even know. Stepdaughter. I don't know how that family works. Anyway,
You
um,
may be an infant, but I can beat you 1 out of 3 times at Yokohama Short.
that's right. I got this. Yeah. So that's my racing update. Really looking forward to some of these milestones coming up, and yada yada. What else is going on? We got the fantasy leagues firing up. I just shared the code with the squad. I'll put it on the face pages and the group me's or whatever, wherever we're putting our content. Um, but
The
yeah,
fan only.
yeah, OnlyFan. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have an OnlyFan channel that's just a 24/7 stream of our code to get into our uh, Fantasy GP League.
Yeah,
So,
if you want to break it up, you could I'll send you a copy of that picture of the engine on the hoist.
oh yeah, the engine on the hoist. That's the official team photo of the vehicle. It's just an engine on a hoist. Yep, in a very clean engine bay because we have time. We have plenty of time to clean
That's
the
right.
engine bay, take engines in and out of vehicles. There's no blockers there. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah. A
Um,
clean engine bay is a sign of a clean mind.
that's right. Any exciting thoughts, hot takes on F1 since we are the pillar of the F1 podcasting community and everybody comes to us for podcasting news and hot takes.
Man, I don't know. Are they gonna what's going on with the compression rule now? Like, are they gonna clamp down on that? I saw something about that today.
Mhm.
Like the
They
FIA
definitely
is
are.
looking into it,
They're going to
and
have an e-vote.
and so what's gonna spin out of that? And I don't feel like any of the testing has really been conclusive on anything yet, other than the racing may suck with like the lift and coast. And
Mhm.
I mean, I know I'm in the maybe less of a minority in the group than it used to be, but in the minority of appreciating Max Verstappen. But when he comes out after like day one of testing, like, oh yeah, this blows. These aren't Formula One cars, right? Like, just
Mhm.
pure, unfiltered Dutch opinion, right? It's like,
Mhm.
like nobody was like, "Hey Max, we really," I mean, except for all of us and the journalists, but nobody on the inside was like, "Hey Max, tell it like it really is." And he's like,
Mhm.
"Boy, these cars kind of, suck."
We have to realize
Um,
all of these drivers speak mechanics English, right? So they don't
right.
know that they're saying it that way.
I don't know that he can hide behind that. I think his English is pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
But I appreciate you, trying to shield Max Verstappen from blows.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. Like, is it going to be are Red Bull and Red Bull and Mercedes like really going to get their hands slapped? And then what do you do? Like, their whole engine program is built around whatever that is. They can't just go build a new engine right away to 2026 specs. It's not like they can throw a 25
Uh,
engine in there and roll with it.
I don't know. I think the Mercedes trick could be because it's basically just like a hole that gets closed up. So I think that could be a manufacturing adjustment. The variable compression.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, that seems relatively easy to resolve. Now, granted, they probably already have, they prefer to run with the data with their, higher compression ratio, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
it's
so, I mean, for fantasy GP stuff, it's like, who are you going to pick for your team? I don't know. Like, I could say, yeah, I I'm not sure any of the testing results really give you a lot of guidance on what's going to happen at Melbourne.
okay. I'm taking
Do you?
Mercedes and Haas. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, Haas seems like a strong midfield. Mercedes seems like the one to pick. I definitely am
Yeah.
not gonna roll the dice on Aston Martin this year, and it could be that I get to eat my words, but they're not looking great.
Maybe I'll take Aston Martin and Williams.
There you go. You're just gonna leave like 10 mil on the table. Like, what?
Yeah,
This is
at
how
least 10
confident I
mil.
am. Yeah.
At least 10 mil, right? Like, yeah, Williams shows up with a car that they barely got through crash testing, and it's what, 40 kilograms overweight or something like that. Like, I feel bad for him. I mean, Checo or not Checo. Carlos is my favorite driver, and this is what he's gonna be, saddled with. And
Yeah.
I don't know. And that, and
Maybe.
and on top of which, it looks like they can't even get like a start to start. Like, we all need to rev our engines between, like 15 and 40 seconds before we dump the clutch on them. And then maybe half of us will just end up in the weeds.
Did you see the Lewis Hamilton start today? Apparently, he
Uh-uh.
like something they were doing practice starts today, and Lewis Hamilton just like lapped everybody, like just went past everybody immediately, like just like went from midfield to first, just like he had something figured out. So it's gonna be an S show. I think it will be entertaining. I mean, what this is what
Yeah,
we're here
yeah,
for, is the entertaining.
right, yeah,
And
and if it leads to like actual passing in races and having to have strategy that's not just do we undercut or overcut, that'd be great.
yeah, like think about, okay, so think about how silly the strategies were, where it was like, I'm going to let you pass me before this DRS zone so I can get the DRS to pass you on the important spot. Think about
Right.
that, but like all like open season, like I need to charge my battery. Hold on a second. Go ahead and get past me. I'll see you in a little bit. That's what's going to be all over the place.
Oh yeah. I'm
So,
guessing it's not legal to fake your recharge light, but how awesome would that be?
oh sure,
If you could like throw on a fake recharge light and then go.
I like this.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
strategizing,
sure it's probably.
5D chess. All right.
I did once. You probably know this. I did once think about. I never did it, but I did once think about putting a a switch, like a push button switch, on the shift lever
Mhm.
attached to the brake lights,
Mhm.
so you could just like manually activate the brake lights without actually touching the brake pedal.
Yeah, I'm sure no one's ever thought of that before.
No, I'm sure, but I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it from anyone else before. But then
It
it's
would be
like
funny,
yeah,
just to see him go whoop,
yeah,
yeah. Just going into, I'm imagining going into Sugar and Spice in Houston and just like clicking that thing on like halfway down the straight, and everybody goes, ah.
yeah. And then you just bust on, yeah, and you get to do it once, and then you'll get black flagged,
Yeah, you
and
can
then
find a different group of cars. I think
oh
because
yeah,
at that point, yeah, you're gonna move on. You're gonna move up the field a little bit, find another group of
that's
clowns.
true, that's true.
You know,
But I guess I can't do that now because I've given away this great secret that no one else has ever thought of,
that's right.
except probably like Henry
Pay,
Oldsmobile in 1903.
pay no attention, Eric Strawn. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we done did a pod. Maury, I appreciate you hopping in. Do you have any other hot takes for the crew, the crowd?
No,
What are our
I think
dates? We got.
that's we're all hot taked up.
What are
May
your dates?
1st and
ECR and
2nd,
yeah,
3rd is whatever the first weekend in May is the Hallett race. I
yeah,
think probably that weekend is it yeah, no, the weekend second weekend in March is when we're hoping to go to ECR for testing.
yeah.
When's
Okay.
your debut at ECR in the mighty
Yeah. A-
Camaro?
April 10th.
April 10.
So lots is happening. We're finally getting to the old race season for us slow folk. But
Exciting times.
yep.
Exciting times. And when and last weekend in March or second last weekend in March for tire
Yeah.
testing up at
Yeah, I think so.
Hallett.
Yeah. So here we go. Hopefully that all works out too. And then a whole season of racing. I'm so excited. So yeah. Go team. Well, guys, check us out online on racershq.com. Check out the shop. Check out the Get Hype playlist. It's
That's
fire.
right.
We will see you at the track. Bye, everybody.
Dave.